All right, people, I am wholeheartedly starting to consider the fact that I think that the C in DC stands for Casper. Now, why am I saying that? Because I swear the amount of ghosting that goes on in this city is astronomical. It's crazy. It's no wonder the dating scene is like a horror movie. Y'all got ghosts everywhere. People ghosting people left and right. And you know me, I'm usually kind of reporting on what's going on. So this is that part where you guys go ahead and hit thumbs up on the video because you know it's gonna be a banger. And we about to talk about this. And of course I gotta get some Starbucks because I'm over here by one of my favorite Starbucks locations. So let's go. All right, y'all. So one of the main reasons why you out here getting ghosted in Washington, D.C., you know what I'm saying? One of the main reasons why you clicked on this video is because people are getting hit with this thing called the paradox of choice effect. And you guys might think I made that word up, but no, you can literally Google it, and I'm gonna explain to you what it is. The other issue that comes about because of the paradox of choice is the issue where no one wants to commit to anything. You know, commitment levels are like at an all-time low. Commitment is something you need in order to end up having that conversation, to end up going on that date. If you're not committed to anything, then a lot of conversations will become ghosted, and a lot of dates will just never happen. Just throwing it out there. And look, we all know about this next one, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there because I know if I don't, y'all gonna kill me in the comments. Let me just say it. Yes, there are a lot more women in DC than there are men. And because of the fact that men have a lot more choices in DC, it just makes it that much easier to ghost you, because if they just simply don't like something about you, or if they just simply feel like they have a better option, then it's a lot easier to just go with the other option or just stop talking to you and just ghost you in general. So I just gotta throw that out there. Yes, the gender ratio definitely plays a part. I hate that I even have to even admit that, but it is the truth. And in DC, the gender ratio is definitely in the men's favor. Yeah, I know I had to make a quick Starbucks stop, so don't even judge me. Yes, people, this whole ghosting matter is a big situation out here in DC. Like, it happens all the time. I mean, it's even happened to me once or twice, so it's definitely out there. It's definitely happening. Now, this next reason why it happens, I want you guys to pay attention to, because I've never heard anybody else say this, but it's definitely something we should talk about, and that is ghosting happens because of the lack of accountability. You know, when you're online dating, which is what most of the people are doing out here, whenever you decide to move on with somebody and you just provide no reason or explanation, there's no one holding you accountable for why you did it. Whenever you have a group of friends, like let's say for example, you met someone because you guys have like mutual friends, usually those mutual friends will be like, well, why did it happen? They'll hold you accountable for what you did or why you did it. And then, you know, there's usually like a community of people to tell you, hey, you were wrong or you were right for what you did. When it comes to online dating, it's all happening just between you and somebody else's device. And there's just no one that can necessarily hold you accountable for that. So that's why it happens so much more often, because it's just, you know, there's a lack of like social standards that are involved in online dating. And then there's the other reason why people get ghosted in DC so much. And that's because you gotta realize what city you're in, man. Like, dating is just not a topic that is as serious in DC as it is in other cities, because DC is so much more centered around becoming successful and chasing your careers. When your life is driven more by your goals and dreams and your careers, you don't tend to be as pressed about getting into a relationship, especially when you're in the years of still trying to elevate your career, elevate to get to your goals. You don't really seem to be as stressed out about stuff like that, because you have goals, and those goals are helping you get through the time. Now, one thing I can say is that that's also like a double-edged sword, because when you're not as stressed behind stuff like that, you don't realize the amount of time that's going by. And by the time you realize it's time to start taking dating serious, and I'm not gonna say it'll be too late, but it's definitely gonna be a lot harder to be able to get into the mix of things. And that's what seems to be more of an issue that's going on in DC, is that people are just struggling to get into the mix because they spent so much time basically becoming successful and get to a point to where they can live in a place like DC. There we go. All right, people, so another major reason why people are out here ghosting at these big ages, you know, being out here in DC and living their life a certain way, that's mainly because some people just don't know how to handle conflict. Like, the easiest way out for them is literally to just avoid the conflict in the first place. Some people simply just don't know how to deal with the conflict, so they just avoid it in general. they would rather just ghost you because they know that's the easiest way out for them. And like I said earlier, you don't know what people have been through in their past. Some people have PTSD from trying to go out and handle conflict the way they think they're supposed to be handled. And next thing you know, it cascades into a lot of different events in life that unfolded that never should have or didn't have to happen in the first place if they would have just avoided it. So they learn to avoid it, basically. I also feel like, you know, just in general, conflict avoidance has been a problem that I think a lot of women have dealt with when it comes to like ghosting men. But as far as, you know, with guys, like we tend to not win in most scenarios when it comes to women as far as like arguing or debating, just because we're always looked at as the aggressor. So it's easier for us to just avoid it altogether and not deal with it in general. So that's why you maybe have gotten ghosted. Maybe they saw conflict coming and they just didn't want to deal with it. Another issue is that the vetting process in general seems to be really jacked up right now. And it's mainly because of, once again, all of this online dating that people are doing. I don't think they realize that swiping all the time, it's training your brain to look for red flags in a very short amount of time. You're not swiping looking for green flags. You spend most of your time when you're online dating looking for a reason why you and this person shouldn't be together and why you guys don't get along. So for guys, you know, who are out here ghosting women, because their brain is already trained to look for red flags so quickly because they're always swiping on to the next because there's an infinite amount of choices, it's really easy for those type of guys to end up being the type of guys who ghost women because a lot of the times they're just judging them in a very short amount of time. Whole point I'm making, people, is that in 2025, especially going into 2026, people are very finicky people. It takes the littlest thing to make people just completely disappear out of your life because they have no one holding them accountable. They feel like they have infinite possibilities of meeting or making another match, and you're just one of the random slides, one of the faces that they just thumb through. Because when it's all said and done, a lot of times people are dating online, and all you are just a picture and a couple lines of text to them. That's all you are. They don't realize that it's a whole other person on the other end of that phone, and there's no reason why they feel like they have to change. And in 2025, I don't see it getting any better. 2026, I don't see it getting any better. I think it's just gonna keep going downhill. Especially with AI being in the mix, it's gonna get worse. So just prepare for that. Be prepared mentally, because this whole ghosting thing, especially here in DC, it's probably gonna be a lot more phantoms and Caspers and ghouls and all that moving into the city, especially when people know they're only gonna be here for a short time, not a long time, and especially if they're just here just to get their goals accomplished and just have fun in the mix. It is what it is. Anyways, this is the part of the video where I have to ask you guys, because I'm definitely trying to grow my channel. I definitely want to ask you guys to hit the thumbs up on the video. At the bare minimum, at least hit thumbs up. If this is the first time you see me, or maybe third or fourth time you see me, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, because you're going to get a lot more dating content, a lot more just dope content in general. So make sure you're locked in with me, and I'm going to keep bringing you guys dope content. I'll be trying to keep my ear to the streets. I'm always walking around out here in DC. You know, people can see me just randomly at any given weekend or random day throughout the week and be able to like walk up and talk to me and just share your thoughts with me. I'm always down for that. But hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. And if you guys really want to support me and you guys really want to be a part of the conversation and see some of the videos that I don't share with the general public, then you definitely want to become a member, because being a member is where the cream of the crop is. I'm telling you, you can ask some of the other members, like, you definitely ain't gonna see some of the stuff and some of the edits and things that I make on my membership side that could have, would have, should have been on the public side. You just gotta be a member. I think it's like $5 a month. So if you guys want to support, that's the best way to do it. I'm also getting into streaming a little bit on Twitch right now. I haven't streamed in the past couple weeks because I'm mainly focused on growing this channel right now, and I'm gonna get back to streaming very soon. But yeah, just giving you guys some updates. With that said, man, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm about to go home, enjoy some Netflix. It's Sunday here in DC, and call it a day.